So today's weekly channeling is about discernment. Now, discernment is basically like sovereignty, is knowing what's best for you, knowing what you feel right with. So, uh, as with sovereignty, you're making your own decisions. So, if you marry the two together, then you have a good plan. But I'm sure that my team will change it a little bit. So that's what I believe discernment and sovereignty working together are. But we'll see what they. Yes, the subject of discernment and sovereignty. Many of you are entering this energy now, a time where you have to make your decisions for yourselves, a time where you have to look at the world and decide, is this working for me? Now, many people will tell you that you have to follow the rules, and that is appropriate if the rules are in line with what you are doing. However, if the rules cause any sort of problems for you, then you must start to look at what it is about these rules that are causing me to feel discomfort. And this, this is where discernment comes in. And so you must drop into your heart energy. You must go into your heart energy and you must allow this heart energy to give you the answer. Many of you, it may be through pictures showing you a scene or a film or something that you need to decipher that way. Others, it may be you hear the words, you hear your guides talking to you about what is best for you. And others again may just have a feeling of emotion, so that you know when you think about something what feels right for you and what doesn't feel right for you. And another group again may have all of them. So we ask you to experience these things by asking simple questions. Things like you know that you don't like. We are laughing when this one says Marmite. So if we were to use such a thing and ask you to use your heart energy to decide whether you like it or not, you know you do not like it or you know you like it. So your heart should tell you and resonate by giving you a feeling of peace and acceptance. But if you do not like it, you will feel a tightness or even in some cases fear, depending on your extreme reaction to what is being presented to you. So this is why we ask you to discern with your heart. So when you are facing the decisions that you are at this time, of whether to do something or to not do something, that is why you must bring in your heart energy. So, for instance, certain things are being asked of you to make a decision on, and how you can decide whether this thing is correct for you is again drop into your heart energy, see this thing happening to you, and see how your heart makes you feel. If your heart is putting you in peace, then you know that that thing is right for you. If you see yourself tense or feel yourself tense, then you know it is not right for you. And then what you must look at is, what must I do as I have made this decision not to do this thing? You must look at things of, do I have to look after my health? Do I have to look after my finances? Do I have to change my job? And these things will automatically come out of your decision, that they will lead you into looking at these other parts of your life that will be affected by one decision. And this is how your world is going to change, because it will be a case of not just me, it will also be how will my decision change the world around me, within me, and my interactions. Because the steps that humanity are now taking, the changes in your energy, the changes in how you work with each other, is going to be a very big step. And what you must understand is that we ask that you practice now. You use the small decisions to show you how your heart energy is guiding you. Because your heart energy is interacting with all the other beings on the planet, as well as your energies around you, your guides, your guardian angel, and other beings of light that are helping you. And your heart will steer you right. But if you are fearful, if you are non trusting, you will not be able to connect to your heart fully. So we ask that you start a practice of meditation or prayer that will help you to settle your heart energy and come into that space of trust. And then once you come into that space of trust, you will be able to discern what is right for you. It is a bit like if you are running a car and you do not use the right fuel, whether it is physically or energetically, if you are not using the right fuel, in this case, trust and light, then you will not be able to run the car properly. So the process of being able to live your life and interact with others in a peaceful way, in the right way for you and the right way for the world, it will not happen. And you will be in fear, and you will be in distrust, and you will be closed and tight and unable to flow into the new world that is coming. And many people are worried about this because it means that you are going to have a level of freedom that you have not had before, because you have always, as we go back to, rules. And as I say, rules are there for the majority because certain things need to be managed. But on a minority day-to-day situation, you should be able to run your own life. So, for example, if you have to do something because everybody has to do it, then it is one of those things that you have to do. So, as we say, you have to pay to go on the bus. But there are some people who are lucky because of their age, they do not have to pay. And so there you see the change in the rule. Because of your age, the rule is changed. Then we also see another thing is that you must also look at the rules that you have imposed on yourself, because many of you have done this. Many of you have turned round and said to yourself, I can't do this, I can't do that. And we ask, why? Why can you not do this? Why can you not do that? Because automatically you are talking yourself out of doing what you need to do. You are moving away from that which you need to carry out. You are trying to be something that you are not. And so what we ask is that you do what you need to do. And that is, you need to start to look at yourself where this fear is coming from. Is it because this event has happened before and that you are replaying that event because it's similar to the event you're going through now? And this is why we need you to go into your heart and start to look at how the two events are different, how they are going to be different, how they're going to play out differently. It is good to have a slight trepidation, we would say, as to what is coming next if the event is similar to what has happened before. But not all events end the same way. Not all events have the same outcome. It is as if every time you have gone over a bridge, the bridge is safe. And then one time you go over the bridge fails. So that you, from that moment, do not want to use a bridge because of one thing that has happened out of all the times you have used that bridge. So this is something that you must look at. You must look at, is this just something that has happened out of all the hundreds of times I've done it? And what do I need to do to make sure that I'm prepared for such an event happening again, but not fear? Or that you need to think of, how do I avoid this happening again? Because with some people it is, you saw that the bridge wasn't very strong, but you thought you'd do it anyway. And this is something, again, your heart will tell you, is that if you are about to attempt something, you will have a feeling, you will have a knowing that you shouldn't be doing this. But what happens with many of you, your ego overrides it and says, we've done this 100 times, we'll be okay. Or even will make you try it because it's something different. And this is where the soul sometimes comes in. And as we have said before on another occasion, with the soul, you have to understand is the soul wishes to experience this world, to pick up information, to pass it on through the different layers of itself back to the divine, so the divine knows of the experiences of this world. But the soul would never put you into a situation that would cause you extreme harm or that was a negative thing. The same as your true guides. If, however, you are put through something and you have an accident, we would say, but at the end of everything, it helped you to enhance your spiritual path, then you know that that is your soul. But if you had an accident and it stopped you from doing what you're supposed to be doing, then that is your ego overriding you and pushing you into a place that stops you from moving into your spiritual path. It is not as cut and dried as you would think, but as we say, ego, it will put you in a situation that will create fear and will stop you from growing, and soul will put you in a situation where you experience something and there is always growth from that experience, no matter what you go through. That is the simplest way we can explain it for you. But going back to your heart and soul are connected, and so they will help you to join together and create a knowing of what is best for you. And so we ask again, is that you be brave and that you start to rebuild your lives bit by bit, inch by inch, so that you can get back to as normal a life as possible, so that you can expand and grow and connect, and that this world starts to become a network of connectedness rather than the little compartments that you have been at this time. But we have seen that this connectedness is still there through your electronic devices, through the internet connections, be they in written form or spoken form or visual and spoken form, so that you can keep that connection. And we ask that this continues, because this situation will not disappear overnight. This energy will not disappear overnight, but it is slowly being made to leave. It is slowly being overcome, but you must work on it. You must work on staying out of the fear, because when you stay out of the fear, these things have less hold on you. If you keep yourself healthy, if you sleep well, eat well, you laugh, you exercise, you do things that give you joy, this helps you to stay in a higher vibration, a higher energy, in the energy of joy. And this too will help to combat this energy, this being, and help it to dissipate, so that it is not as much of a stronghold on humanity as it has been. So we ask you, as you go about your day, to try and say hello to someone, to try and at least nod or show some sort of connectedness to people. And if they are frightened and they back away, do not worry. That is their situation and not yours. For another thing that you will be taking forward is what is mine and what is theirs. Because remember, you react to others because they remind you of something. As we were talking about the previous scenario, you do something because it reminds you of something so you know is safe, or you don't do it because it reminds you of something that was unsafe, rather than looking at the information and moving forward. So it will be with human reactions. You will have those who react well and those who don't. And it is all down to them and how they perceive what you are doing. So do not be upset or affronted. Just know that that person is in a certain place, and that what you do is what you do, and how they react is how they react. And that most of the time it is not a personal thing, it is what is going on with them. So, to recap, we ask you to use your heart for discernment. When you make decisions, you look at how it is going to affect you and the positivity that comes with it. Know that your ego will always make you fall into fear, and your soul will make you fall into joy and experience and expansion. And that as you move forward in the world, you start to build a normality, you start to grow yourselves, and that gently, gently, as the world changes and reclaims itself, that you are a part of that. So we will leave you there. Goodbye for now. Some good advice to keep us going with what's going on. So I hope that has helped. Bye for now.